Hey y'all, Kristen here, live from my new floor studio in I like to call this the bed studio because bed is over here. I'm repurposing this cart and I figured it's been a minute since we caught up on a few things, so let me just talk about my whips for the week and what I hope to do pretty soon. You will see my full review slash vlog of moving everything between floors. Just a little bit of background. We have been looking for a new space. There's been a lot of other things behind the scenes that I'll share when there's a more appropriate time. But we needed to change apartments, and the opportunity happened here in this building. And I wanted to actually document it because I'm like, you know what? This will be my opportunity to renovate an apartment too, on top of talking to you all about all of my crafty stuff. And one of the first things I noticed about this new apartment is that it's like 2 to 3 extra feet in each direction, the square, and there's a different layout, and it just feels so much more expansive. And now I get to have kind of this sort of floor area because there's extra room in the right places. All of my yarn does not have to live where I'm sitting at in my bedroom. In the old apartment, I probably could have done this as well. Had a little sitting area, floor sitting area where I could just chill out on the floor, put up blankets and pillows. I can't even remember where I got this blanket. I think it even moved with me from Greensboro to Kansas City and back. It might be an IKEA blanket. I don't even know. It's just a nice fuzzy blue blanket. I've had it in the car. I washed it right before we moved upstairs. But yeah, these pillows are IKEA pillows, and they are full of yarn. This is one of my hacks that I'll discuss in depth in future videos. But for now, just for the record, this is yarn, and actually I can feel my spindle in this, but it's so much cloth in here that I can stuff my pillows, and it's storage. Same with this one. And this actually was a happy accident. You know how you walk past as-is these days, and you're right there, and there's also little other things. They're definitely trying to sell you some extra food, all of that. And yeah, this is my other favorite IKEA hack. This one has kind of a handle. I think this is supposed to be like a deck chair, but yes, it's yarn in here too. And I've used this for holding yarn. And we'll talk about what's inside of here soon. I don't want to confuse y'all, but I will give you a preview of some of the yarn that's inside of here because it's still going after my 2 big projects of the year. So in another future video, gosh, I feel like in this video, keep watching the channel. There's reasons for you to keep coming back to the Chris Paton channel, but there is reasons for you to keep coming back to the Chris Paton channel because it's gonna be vlogs, it's gonna be crocheting, it's gonna be me doing the art of making my space work for me because the space has to have crafty work, and we do have crafty work. Space right now. You'll see it very briefly. What you don't see is some parts of this apartment are not as livable as others, but here we are. But what I did want to talk to you about is that I have been making progress with my hexagon. So this hexagon is I won't say it's self-drafted because this is a pattern somewhere, but it's the pattern that kind of made the most sense in my head. I did the magic circle. I did 6. I did 12. I did the magic circle. Then I did 12 stitches, 12 double crochet stitches. Then in between every other stitch, since you need 6 sides for a hexagon, I did 2 double crochets with a chain 1 in between. Then I've come back around and the last couple of rows, I've done my full shell, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, in each of those 6, like those double crochet chain ones to start making this. And now I notice that it's a pattern. What's been tripping me up about this particular project is that this hole in the center just kept getting bigger and bigger. Plus, I didn't like how wobbly it was, but I realized this is just gonna be a blocking situation. In the My Granny Square wardrobe, which I'm gonna throw up right here, there's another way they do this, but what I'm using is I'm using that book to help me gauge how big my hexagons need to be for my size. And then I'm also going to be extending the length of the sweater to be like a coatigan. I want to be covered in DC Metro inspired hexagon tiles. So I also have this. And then when I was still tripping over, even though I spent $70 in Michael's on this Lion Brand Hometown orange, even though if you look at the floor, there's sometimes when you go into Metro and you look at the floor, it's a little bit reddish. It is a burnt orange. Burnt orange is burnt orange. And like I've mentioned in the previous video, you're gonna know what I'm doing. You're gonna know what I'm wearing when I put this on. But that's what's on the whips for this Wednesday. But I did also try to pull out this merino. It's the same. This is the new cotton, acrylic wool blend that Loops and Thread, Michael's house brand, is doing. And I figured, well, maybe let me test this out too, because if I'm having trouble stitching with this Lion Brand Hometown, or is it Hometown, or is this Hometown too? I don't have my, in fact, let me not misspeak on the yarn, but you've seen this yarn at Michael's. You've seen it in this color. And when I was in there, it just stopped me in my tracks. All right, come on. I know one of y'all is up in here. Okay. Yep, it is Lion Brand. I still have a skein. It is Heartland. Actually, this is Heartland. Hometown is the one that is in like the basis. I'm throwing this up here. The basis of my hexagon cardigan, the green and black one. The black part is Hometown, and this is Heartland. And Heartland is themed around like national parks. This is Yosemite color, and so it comes in a 251 yard, 230 meter skein, 5 ounces, 442 grams. Is number 4 weight. Is 100% acrylic. It kind of comes out pilling a little bit, so keep that in mind if you decide to make something with this. This does come out pilling a little bit. It gives it that softness. It doesn't feel like acrylic. It does feel like a soft wool. And honestly, technically, like this sweater is from the store that has a bullseye in the front when I was still rocking with them. This is from 2020. Like, I think I bought this in like January or February of 2020 before everything shut down. My size has changed, but this sweater has been rocking with me. You see it across the board in all of my content across my channels. I love this sweater. I love gold, mustard yellow. It means something in cultures that are rooted in traditional African spirituality. That's why Beyonce was in it in that particular video. And so I wanted to have that golden color around me to tap into that spiritual weight. Anyway, this is what the basis is, and this is what we've finally been able to make it. I have frogged this particular skein so many times. It's probably why it's trying to fall apart on itself. And I will say, frogging with this, especially since it's already like kind of pilling a little bit, is not easy. You definitely want to. That's another reason I went to this yarn, which so far it's a little bit more. It's a number 3 weight. Let me pull the label on this. This Loops and Threads is a number 3 weight, 410 yards, wool blend, 5.3 ounces, 375 meters, 150 grams. It is 55% superwash merino. Hey, and 45% acrylic. It can go in the washing machine. That's part of why the acrylic's there. But cold cycle, cold water, gentle cycle, no bleaching, tumble dry low, no ironing. Dry clean, you can dry clean this with any solvent except trichloroethylene, which I guess I don't know enough about. I'll admit I take my stuff to the dry cleaner and I don't know as much about the process. I'm wondering if I go to one of those places that says that they're like ethical or like are friendly dry cleaning, that I can take this particular yarn there. Whereas this feels kind of like this blanket that I'm under, this yarn feels more like my sweater, and it is number 3 weight, so it's a little bit smaller of a weight. And from what I can tell, I think my sweater is either a 3 or 2. I think this is a 3. Like a lot of sweaters are sport weights because sportswear, but in this case, I think this is what that is. I still will try both because, you know, if this might be the coat or it might be a hat set. Speaking of which, that I might drop on my website. Speaking of which, the website has been updated. It is in the description box. And so far, I have a few test products in the store. If you need a duffel bag to carry all your yarn, we're getting in the yarn festival season. Specifically, if I'm going to see you at Sheep and Wool, or if I'm going to see you at H&H Americas, you're going to want a duffel bag. And that duffel bag is heavy duty. It's great. Here's Chris Paton Bay holding it. So anyway, that is this project. And yes, hopefully soon I'll have the black on it and you'll really get to see what these tiles are looking like. Now, to the project from my last full length video. Now, yes, you saw a few days ago we went over to the cherry blossom drop, but that is just me admiring the cherry blossoms, and I think I will have something Sakura / cherry blossom themed in another drop. And when I talk about the video of how I'm influenced by like my environment living in downtown DC, I'll talk more about that. But let's talk about the Carolina collection. Even though you may not associate these colors with Carolina anything, because unless you maybe have run around in your grandparents' scuppernong grape yard, your muscadine, your scuppernongs, like those grapes, those really thick grapes that they have some water in them, but they're not like ooh. Let me talk to you about this is the final square. You saw me dancing with it at IKEA Bingo, but let's talk about this square a little bit here for this Whip Wednesday update. So I have, for this, you have the patent sock in the middle, and for those of you who are worried about the stretchiness of the patent sock in the middle, it's actually not. Having the cotton on the edges kind of keeps it from going too far. It can only go but so much because the cotton's not really moving. Patent sock is moving, cotton's not moving. Then you got this beautiful lime green and this purple from Loopy Fibers, which we talked about in the last video, but here it is. This is it, and it's full 12 by 12 blocked glory. This is my only completed square, because of course we found out our floor change approval was happening. I should have been packing like we were gonna move somewhere anyway and move somewhere overnight, but I wasn't, and I wasn't gonna give my body any grace. In fact, that's another reason why I love this little area. I can sit legs crossed, I can lay them out. Some more influencing these pants that are at Nordstrom Rack. The one thing I do not like about these pants is that they are pocketless. Yeah, might have to carry a little bag with this, but I do, I love these. I love that these printed pants are coming back, and I am glad that I have more room in this apartment that I can sew a little bit more. So you're definitely going to see me finally finish the green pants that I had started. You see them, you see it if you watch the opening credits, that little slither where I'm holding the pants up against me. Yeah, those pants. It's been a year and some change since I've started them. They need finishing. Here we go. But what I anticipate doing because I'm hoping to get the money together, and in next week's like Whip Wednesday update, I'll have more details on whether or not we're gonna go to H&H Americas after all. But it looks like because of the way H&H Americas is structured, I will be coming home possibly to Dulles. The Bay, who has to stay here in DC because of work, might be able to come pick me up from the airport and take me right on up to Howard County for Maryland Sheep and Wool. So, first couple weeks of May might be an epic weekend. And yes, Atlanta Frogtails, I have not counted y'all out either. We might make this all happen. We might make this all happen. We just might. So, stay tuned for that. But, yeah, I'm very pleased with how this is working out. This cat bowl, I love this cat bowl. Like, I was not completely sold on like yarn bowls at first, but it helps as much as I have yarn like this that likes to get out of order. In fact, look at this. Since we've been taping, yeah. Yarn bowls, 100% keep this from happening. So I'm also going to influence you for a yarn bowl. But what you can do, if you have regular bowls, ceramic bowls, even just plastic bowls, get some binder clips. You can do that, and then you can have the same effect as anybody else. So with that, that is my little Whip Wednesday update for April 16th. When you see this, I will have figured out how to file my taxes. It'll be kind of a late file, but it'll be a file. And next week, I will have made a decision about what conferences I'm going to go, yarny conferences I'm going to go to for the spring. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want to keep up with this update. This is going to be like the video I try to do each week right here in this little spot to kind of talk to you through about what I'm doing. I realized that I've been working really hard on trying to give you perfect videos, but then I forget this is YouTube, and the nucleus of YouTube is building relationships with folks this way. And one thing I like to say on all my platforms is the Kristen you see on tape is the Kristen you see in real life. Now, please don't run up on me. Please don't stalk me. A lot's going on right now with everything that's going on. Please do not call nobody on me and try to send me somewhere that ain't good. That's all I got to say about that right now. But this ain't the time to be putting your favorite Black, brown, queer influencers in an ugly place. Let's keep it positive here. You want to see me finish these items, so keep me here on the interwebs. So like and subscribe. Chris Pattern across the board. Head over to chrispattern.com if you want to test out the bag line. My Chrisfinity scarf pattern is still for sale over there, and I will be posting class links as well as shop with me links, so that you can come to the yarn store with me in your pocket, and I can help you get what you need to get started. Anyway, take care. Oh, one other thing. Well, I'll save that for next Whip Wednesday, because the fabric project that I actually purchased for this weekend, as well as the earring project, might be whips for next week. But these two are active on the hooks, along with what's in this bag up here, my scarf out of the Karen Cake Cinnamon store, which I also still like. So anyway, take care. Talk soon. See ya.